Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, sunshine. It's day 50, day 83, day 83 of Daddy in Dubai. And it's Saturday, the 2nd of May. And I know I just looked at yesterday's video where I was really, 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 really tired. I even called it Magic Monday. Can you believe that? I was just watching to see what I said. Because in actual fact, I never ever remember what I say in the video recording because I say it once, then I never watch it, right? Um, it's not edited. There's no post production or anything like that. It's recorded and then it's posted, done. And it's very rare that I go back and listen to what I've said. So I say it and that's it. So I've never really remembered what I wrote, what I've said. And today I watched a little bit of it just to see what I was like. I knew I was tired yesterday. Um, and look, something that I learned many, many, many years ago is when you're becoming ill or your body's something's going to happen, like you get the flu or something, you get your body tells you 3 days before you're going to be ill that you're going to be ill. And flu is a respiratory um, condition. And when I was 19, maybe even a little bit older, but around 19, 20, maybe even 23, I was under the impression that this was true. And I had a three-step process to dealing with the illness before it happened. And I'll share that with you, right? So the first thing that I do when I feel like I'm going to get ill is I'll go for a massage to get the lymph glands. So you have lymph glands that go throughout your whole body, and they are the drainage system for your body, right? So my first thing was if I go and get a massage and get everything, get all the lymph nodes and all the pipes smoothed out, if there's any blockages, because I believe that respiratory infection will harbor because the lymph glands are blocked. And normally you'll feel like sometimes your gland will get swollen. And my understanding was if that gets blocked, then things will harbor up here and you'll get a respiratory infection. So I believe that was my day one treatment is when you get that feeling, get a massage as soon as possible to straighten out your pipes, release any blockages. That's day one. That doesn't relieve anything. On day two, you take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C with zinc, because zinc is the traffic controller. This is what I learned. And you take that 3 times a day, and that charges up your immune system. If that doesn't work or doesn't have an impact, then on day three, you start taking something called echinacea. And echinacea is it's a South American herb that specifically charges up your immune system against um, respiratory infections and chest infections and stuff like that. So that is the last resort. Now, thankfully, over the many, many years, I rarely, rarely get ill. And what I normally do is I will get a massage and then I'll just go to sleep. I'll go to sleep and I'll let the body rest. And as you know, Sunshine, I've always said to you that the body is like the most magical thing that you can experience. What our bodies are capable of is nothing short of a miracle. So I experienced that yesterday, and I was, as you saw in the video yesterday, I was knackered, right? I've been doing events. If you have been following my journey, I've been doing events all week. I went to an event on Tuesday, the UAE Sports and Entertainment Roundtable. Went to that on Tuesday. Finished there, and then I went somewhere else. And then Wednesday, I was at the block event. Was at the block event all day, and then I went to an evening event by my brother Malik called Grit and Growl, and that's always a jam-packed show. Heavy networking. That was Wednesday night. So Wednesday day was heavy. Went for dinner with Cowpush and Sue, and then straight from there to the Wednesday night event with Malik. But also Tuesday night after the networking event with the UAE in Emirates Golf Course, I then went to see Marcus. Now, Marcus is another remarkable man I met the following Wednesday. Um, Super overloaded with information, too much information. You know, some people just tell you too much too soon. And I'm going to have a word with him about that to give him some feedback on delivering information is important, and that your methodology of delivery can determine whether it lands or doesn't land. And unfortunately, um, Marcus needs to manage his delivery method, as I believe you're delivering too much. Marcus, if you're watching this, I'm going to ring you in and tell you anyway. You have great information. We just need to deliver it in bite sizes so people can swallow each bit. Yeah. So he was Tuesday night, then Malik Wednesday night, and then Thursday again was the block event global. Thursday I went full power, max power with orange hat, full color clothing, and it did not fail to deliver. I planned on staying there the whole day till the evening. And again, if you are following my vlog, I did loads of shorts and TikToks for Wednesday and Thursday. More so Thursday, I loaded probably about 12 videos of daily activities. And look, the evening on Thursday ended up with a DJ music producer called Jerry. And Jerry dropped the tunes on Thursday night. Wow. It was an absolute honor and a pleasure to rave it up with Jerry and the masses that were there gathered at the event, the block event. And then I met a lady called Almasa, a French lady that recognized me from Sagira's birthday party where I did my first ever karaoke, Three Little Birds. For those of you who've been following the journey, I put that up on YouTube. My first ever karaoke, Three Little Birds. So she recognized me from that event. We then went for something to eat, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I got home. I was knackered. But look, Al Massa is going to play a really important role in guidance and consultancy for a documentary I'm making called The Magic of Art. And we won't talk anymore about that because I'll let it all get into production, and then we'll do a live vlog of the up and coming events for that as well. So keep your ears and eyes peeled for that. I will be sharing more exciting news. But like I said, Al Massa is going to be a clear contributor to that. She's a publicist. She's been in the art world, and a very necessary asset to the production of this Netflix series. So that was Thursday night. Apparently, there's more blockchain stuff at the event on Friday. So I went back on Friday, one to meet Joseph, and two to meet my new Egyptian brother Mo, aka Trippy, the unicorn, the guy who's got the idea. And I actually interviewed him. He's on my YouTube, Mr. Trippy. He goes on to tell his story about what he did and how he did it. So I had to meet him on Friday, and as you know, I was recording day 82, almost horizontal, and I was tired. However, Joseph and I met up, and at the end, we were both supposed to meet Trippy, and as we waited for him, uh, He took a long time. But then when he did turn up, he said, right, we're all going for dinner. And that was not part of our plans. Joseph was going to go home and eat with his wife, and I was going to have something. And I booked myself in for a massage with a lovely Ina, who is probably the best massage person I've ever met in my whole entire life. So I rang her up and I said, listen, you need to fit me in today. So 8 o'clock last night, I was booked in for a massage, but at 6 o'clock, we got told we're going to eat with him. So I let the necessary occur, got in the cab with him. And as we got to this villa where we were having food, I see so many people that I know. And it was basically all the people that had been at the organization of this event. They were all there. Gustavo, the whole full team, and everybody else, which was quite ironic. I won't go into that right now, but it was quite ironic that I was there. Once I'd eaten, I went outside, ordered a taxi, and I saw this beautiful orange car go past this way. And then he came back and he came and the guy stopped and he goes, is this where the food thing is? And I said, yeah. So I introduced myself. He had a British accent. So if you're British, I'll always say, I am Dizzy, not Rascal. And he's somebody I've been talking to on LinkedIn. And he's like, wow, you're the guy I've been talking to on LinkedIn, right? I said, yeah. So he goes, look, I told him I'm going to leave now. But he did since then send me his number. And we will be connecting in the future, no doubt, because, and that was going to be the message of today. Have faith in who you are and what you believe in. Because if you're guided internally and you represent yourself 100%, and what do I mean by that? In your daily interactions, when you're speaking to people, are you 100% being yourself? Are you saying what's on your mind? Are you saying what's truly on your mind or not? And what I've found from my experience, the more I remain myself and the higher degree of percentage that I'm myself. So if you're 100% yourself, just say what's on your mind and you're saying it authentically, number one, the person will hear you. And number two, the person will feel you. What do I mean by that? Every interaction I'm having whilst I've been out here in Dubai with the majority of people in the first instant, it's a conscious connection. What do I mean by that? A conscious connection is the opposite of an unconscious connection, right? So an unconscious connection will be somebody that you meet and within 5 minutes, you don't even know their name. That's an unconscious connection. You meet, but there's no real connection there. And because there's no real connection there, I don't call that a conscious connection. And the company that I've created is called Audacious Associates, consciously connecting. And I do believe that majority of the interactions I have every day with everybody, whether it's somebody serving me food, the taxi driver, somebody I meet for 30 seconds, I do believe it's a conscious connection. And when you do have a conscious connection, it has an impact. Like if you watch the video of Trippy, I met Trippy on day one of the event, and he didn't have so much of a good day, but I was the only person he connected with that day. And in that brief moment, he said, Dizzy, I connected with you so well that you were the best conversation I had. The only real uplifting, meaningful conversation that he had on day one. And then, like magic, day two, I met Joseph, and Joseph said, Dizzy, I need to introduce you to Trippy. And I said to Joseph, well, I need to introduce you to Cowpush. And as we went inside looking for Cowpish and looking for Trippy, Cowpish and Trippy were both talking, which is like, now how funny is that? The person I want to introduce you to and the person you want to introduce me to are both talking to each other. If that's not magic, come on now. And that kind of magic happens to me every single day with everybody I meet in such a magical way. And look, sometimes you'll meet people. There's somebody who left me a voice message today. I met him and the rest of his friends um, in early January when I first came out here. And what I thought was a conscious connection then became unconscious because all of a sudden all these people stopped communicating. However, it's fine. Look, some people you meet and it'll be deep. Some people you meet and it won't be so deep, but their purpose might have been to introduce to somebody else. Now, this guy that introduced me to Natalia, who's been on the series, right? Natalia for me is like my family. She introduced me to some solid people, some solid connections that I will call my family whilst I'm here in Dubai, because of what they mean to me and how they've treated me and all of that good stuff. So Ina, the lady who gave me a massage, she's like family. And I wouldn't have known her if it wasn't for this guy doing me the introduction. So I looked back at our connection and figured, wow, maybe the only reason I met you was to meet these guys. And if that was the case, I'm cool with that. You know, some people have a different purpose, right? And um maybe that was it. And I'm cool with it. But after the last couple of weeks, I think this guy's noticed me at loads of events, and now he's wondering why we don't connect. So I'll educate him shortly on that, and we'll take it from there. But look, what I'm trying to say to you, son, is everybody's on the way. Nobody's ever in the way. And today's breakfast, I went to Katrina's for my Scandinavian breakfast, which was so good. And I had that with Sagira. Now, Sagira is another special lady, right? So a couple of Wednesdays ago, it was the 15th of April, 2 weeks ago, where I went to Malik's event, and Malik said, you have to come to my event because he heard me speak on Tuesday on the mic. You must come. So Wednesday night, I went to Malik's event, and I kind of got rushed because I spoke and everybody wanted to know who Dizzy is and what's he about and all of that stuff. And I met this lady called Sagira, and it just happened to be her birthday on April the 16th. And I remember messaging her at 1:24 in the morning and just to say happy birthday. And like magic, she was messaging me at the same time as I was messaging her. And we met at 10:54, and it was 1:24 in the morning when this actually happened. And she says, oh, I can't believe you remembered the time. I said, but the reason I remember the time is because there are certain things that happen that are unusual, which you will remember. And I don't remember the last time I met somebody for the first time and like within a random time, they were messaging me and I was messaging them at the same time. So that was pretty special. And I remember the time. So we've stayed friends since then. And because I fast Monday to Friday, I always look forward to having a breakfast Saturday, Sunday. And one of the breakfasts I had a few weeks ago was at Katrina's, and it was so special. It's got all the different ingredients for a healthy intake that I could have asked for, and it's all in one plate as a breakfast. So I said to Sagira, I said, listen, let's go and have breakfast on Saturday. So she picked me up, we went. And I said, look, I also want to I want to show you a really, really special shop. And she goes, I'm intrigued to find out what this shop is, right? And the reason she was intrigued is because she's lived in Bergerman for 7 years. And she goes, I know all the shops. I can't believe you're going to take me to a shop. So we parked the car, we came up, and where we came up in the escalator, I said, oh, the shop's there. And I took her into this shop, and she said, oh my God, the lady who owns this shop, I know her, and she changed my life 5 years ago. And I've been looking for her for all this time. Now, that's a magic moment, right? Somebody she's been looking for. I introduce her to that place and I say it's going to be special. I've got a special shop I want to show you. And it's the shop where, Sunshine, when you come, I'm going to take you there. It's where I had these beads made. I had actually had these redone because she said the string is about to break. So I had the whole string redone by the lady, and Sagira was just in awe of the magic of me taking her to a place. And I said it would be special because it was special to me. And it was even more special to her because it was somebody that she'd been looking for. So the moral of this message today is if you're true to who you are and you represent yourself 100% in every situation, one, you'll move, touch, and inspire. You'll connect on a different level and you'll create a conscious connection. And if you're led by your inner self, knowing what you really, really want to do in life, effortlessly people will come into your life. And look, depending on what religion you are, it will relate to your religious beliefs, right? And I always say, you always receive what you believe. So if you're receiving and you're not happy with it, then you need to have a checkup from the neck up and see what you're believing, because what you believe is what you receive. So if you're receiving what you don't want, then you need to look at what you believe, right? Because you only receive what you believe. And if you believe it's possible and you believe it with all your heart and it's fully aligned with you, there's no doubt it's going to come to you in whatever shape or form. You could call it your plan, and your plan is never as great as God's plan. I use God as a generic reference, but call whatever you want it. You can call it the universe. If you're agnostic to God, you can just call it whatever you want. But there is something higher out there, whatever you want to call it, that is got a greater plan than you. And that plan is whatever you were born to do, right? So I'm not going to go on about what you're born to do because only you know, right? And we'll explain that another day. So, day 83 of Daddy in Dubai, Saturday, the 2nd of May. And May this month be everything you want. April Rules Day was the April thing, but May is the month of permission. Give yourself permission to shine. Give yourself permission to live your dreams. Because if you don't give yourself the permission, no one will. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure, as Les Brown would say. This is your daddy in Dubai. And listen, if you've not liked, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question. If anything I've said has resonated with you, tell me. Let everybody else know. I do know that there are people that watch every day and follow the journey. And I've said to all my friends, I said, when they call me and say, what have you been up to? I said, your best bet is to get on to my channel because I tell my son, you Sunshine, I tell you every day what's happened in the last 24 hours. The last 72, well, this week has been so hectic that I've not done my usual format where I come on at one point throughout the day and give you a quick rundown of the daily activities or the weekly activities. So much has happened. I have another event to go to tonight. I'm on the guest list with the Egyptian Picasso, Mr. Motaz. His friend's doing a soft house night at my favorite hotel, the 25th Hour Hotel. It's popping. That's where we're doing it. So I'm just going to rest. I'm relaxing. Like I said, I've had a beautiful breakfast with beautiful Sagira. And if you're watching this, Sagira, thank you for taking me there. And if you're going to come to this evening, then great. If you're not, then we'll meet another day. But it's been a special one, right? I got my beads back. I had these hand ones made and they were a bit too big, but I had them made. And the other one is by my brother, the lifeguard, who's guarding my life with this bracelet, he was the official first person whose hair I cut in Dubai. You know who you are, man. Big up yourself, brother. We need to have a show just with you. Because I know you call me Uncle Dizzy now, and we need to get on a Zoom so we can you can share with Jaden the impact and what you've learned from Uncle Dizzy. So, Sunshine, I love you to the moon and back. And like I said, I don't know when you're going to watch this, but what you do need to know is your daddy loves you every single day, all the way from Dubai, and had to make it. That's why. So, take care. Have a beautiful Saturday. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are watching this. If you're not my son, I appreciate you watching it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Um, if you find some benefit from this, um, like I said, I'm not doing it for subscribers or to make money. This is just a channel to share with my son, my little sunshine boy, everything I learn every day. And look, I've spoken to so many people, and they've all said if I had access to my dad or my mum after they've left the planet, it's priceless. So today I'm creating something that you, Sunshine, will appreciate for the rest of your life. Long after I've gone, you know your digital daddy is here, known as Dirren or Dizzy Taylor or Dizzy Not Rascal. Stay great.